News Now is brought to you by the Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, Docomo Pacific, island-wide, worldwide, the choice is clear. From the Pacific News Center in Hagåtña, Guam, here's Clint Ridgell and Janella Carrera with Betsy Brown and Roselle Romanes. PNC Sports with Blake Watson, and Weather with Rebecca Kim. With your news now.
Hafide and good evening, Guam. It's Wednesday, December the 17th, and you're watching PNC's News Now. I'm Janella Carrera.
And I'm Clint Ridgell. Thanks for tuning in. Topping your news tonight, overnight in Manila, 2 armed robberies took place within hours of each other, one at Subway and the other just down the road at Winchell's. PNC's Roselle Romanes spoke with the employees of both establishments and has more in this report.
2 armed robberies within hours of each other left employees of Subway and Winchell's in Manila traumatized. First was a robbery in Subway. GPD Acting Spokesman Officer Paul Tapao says officers from the Hagåtña precinct responded to the scene at about 10:15 p.m. Subway manager Linda Sarmiento tells us that a man holding a black handgun entered the restaurant and demanded money from the cashier.
Is holding the gun and asked the 2 employees to move. And he said, "Hurry, open the register." The robber grabbed all the money, or took all the money, and he left.
Sarmiento says the suspect made off with about $500 and then ran behind the building. She describes the suspect.
The robber wearing mask and baseball hat is choppy, and the height is 5'8".
As a manager, she says she fears for her employees' safety.
I'm so scared not to know. I'm still shaking. I cannot sleep, and at the same time, I'm still also in trauma. Because this is the first time happened that robber opened this one, and he was the one who grabbed the money.
Just hours later, officers responded to another robbery less than a mile away here at Winchell's in Manila. The descriptions of the suspects almost match, but in this case, the suspect was wearing a green shirt, black shorts, a dark shirt covering his face, and was armed with a 10-inch knife.
A male individual, also described as possibly local, standing about 5'7" to 5'8" tall, heavy build with a light complexion.
A similar story, Tapao says the suspect demanded the cashier to open the register and left with an undetermined amount of cash. But as the suspect was running away,
he was confronted by a witness who was outside. The witness attempted to stop the suspect, at which time the suspect struck the witness and continued fleeing towards the rear side of Winchell's.
Tapao says other witnesses indicated that the suspect fled in an unknown vehicle. Thankfully, no other injuries were reported. Could the crimes be related? Can it be the same person? Police say it's too premature to say as they continue to investigate. If you have any information about these robberies, call Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-4357. Roselle Romanes, PNC News.
And in a show against violence, the Guam Police Department has made arrests in 2 cases where fight videos went viral. One case involved adults in Tumon. The other involved a riot amongst students at Teason High School. PNC's Betsy Brown reports.
A video that was widely shared on WhatsApp and then made its way to social media has led to the arrest of a 25-year-old man on charges of aggravated assault. Kevin Keith Nira Royce was taken into custody yesterday in relation to an assault that took place on November 3rd or 4th in Tumon, according to Guam Police Department Acting Spokesman Officer Paul Tapao.
The video indicates the subject, Mr. Nira Royce, punching an unknown individual or unknown individual that was there by a stairway of a Tumon establishment and pretty much knocking him out.
The victim in the case sustained injury to his facial area and complained of massive pains to his head, but he never reported the incident to police. So officers launched the investigation based on what was depicted in the video.
With the video going viral, again, our officers and within the department We had initiated the complaint because we identified a victim, and because of the severity of the incident, I mean, and if you see the video, the guy is pretty much, he's out and he falls from, I think, 4 flights of stairs down and everything, and there's some seriousness that can go into that. So,
and more arrests were also made recently in the case of a riot at Tietzen High School, which quickly went viral on social media. Officer Tapau says the arrests from the November fight now total 13. 11 female minors, 1 male minor, and 1 male adult, all Tietzen High School students. The adult was booked and released, and the minors are all confined at the Department of Youth Affairs. According to Tapau, officers discovered that the riot was sparked by dirty looks between 2 individuals.
In Chamorro, we call it the Antambaba, and it was really childish. Something that childish had ended up the way it was, and it blew up way out of proportion.
The arrests signify how seriously GPD takes crimes of violence, and Officer Tapau says they'll continue to pursue charges for other fight videos shared on social media.
Any video that we see that goes viral involves fights or stage fights, we are going to pursue, whether it's adults or minors. So we are actively pursuing charges.
GPD has arrested a man for making threats towards police officers on a Facebook thread. The thread was related to a video of police responding to a fight at the Hemalani Apartments in Harmon. The man who made the threats was upset at the officers for using a taser on one of the individuals in the apartments.
In what might be the first of its kind on Guam, GPD arrested a 34-year-old Chukis man for making threats against police officers on Facebook. Arthur Sango was arrested for making comments on a Facebook thread related to a video that was posted of officers responding to a fight at the Hemalani Apartments in Harmon. On the thread, numerous people accused officers of using a taser on innocent people. Monica Ekaninuk wrote, "The ones that got tased were the ones only holding the one yelling." Celino Henry commented, saying, "I was there. I saw it up close, and the cop did taser 2 men's for nothing. Both I'm related to." Sango, who goes by the name Lost Boy Trash on Facebook, then commented the following: "Hey guys, just check their name tag and look for them when they're off from work, and then kill them all if the government don't do nothing." Sango was charged with 4 counts of terrorizing.
We want to ensure that the safety of our officers and also the first responders who respond not just in that area, but to our island community on a daily basis, that threats like this shouldn't be made to first responders or police officers. To my knowledge, this is one of the first ever that was ever done to Facebook, where it was brought to the attention of numerous officers that you might want to take a look at this, because this concerns not just you, but everybody that wears a badge or is out serving and protecting our community. We want to send a message that we're here for the community, and any threats that are made to endanger our officers or any first responder, we're going to take it seriously.
Officer Tapau says these kinds of threats will not be tolerated. Sango was booked and confined.
The 2 suspects behind an alleged robbery, police shooting, and wild chase say they are innocent. Irvin Munya White and Tommy Kichichio Faison were arraigned today, and both pleaded not guilty to charges of attempted murder, aggravated assault, terrorizing, and special allegations of possession and use of a deadly weapon. The 2 are accused of robbing the Days Inn on Ipoh Road on December 4th, then leading police on a wild chase. Police at one point, Faison shot at police as they were being chased on Challen San Antonio Drive. Residents along Father Duenas Drive in Tumani were also ordered to stay indoors as police searched and eventually caught the suspects hiding in a home that was under construction. While both pleaded not guilty, Faison asserted his right to a speedy trial.
All right, Mr. Faison, the court record, sir, is going to show that you are presently with the lawyer from the public defender. You waive a reading of the indictment and you're pleading not guilty to the charges in this indictment and denying the special allegations contained therein. A request for a jury of 12 and discovery in the grand jury proceedings on a disc were made. Those requests are granted, and you are asserting your right to a speedy trial.
Once a defendant has asserted his right to a speedy trial, the Superior Court, by law, has 45 days to take the case to trial. White, however, waived his right to a speedy trial. This means the court is not required to take him to trial within 45 days.
Irvin Munya White, Mr. White, good afternoon, sir. And Ms.
Yes, Your Honor. On behalf of Mr. White, waive a reading of the complaint, enter a plea of not guilty, waive our right to speedy trial in writing, pass the trial discovery, pass them on the notice. The grand jury is
Again, both Afison and White pleaded not guilty, but Afison did assert his right to a speedy trial while White waived his. Both are scheduled to appear in court again on December 24th at 10 a.m.
The last of the defendants in the Sardoma drug ring has been sentenced today. The girlfriend of drug kingpin Mateo Sardoma, Maria Cristina Edrosa, was sentenced to 6.5 years in federal prison with credit for time served. Edrosa was convicted along with Sardoma and Rudy Sablon last year of drug trafficking and firearms charges, but the three took last-minute plea deals. Sardoma and Sablon pleaded guilty to lesser charges of illegal drug and firearms possession in exchange for less jail time, while Edrosa agreed not to pursue a mistrial as long as her sentence was also reduced. The Sardoma drug ring is considered one of the biggest drug trafficking rings in recent years. As many as 9 others were charged in the ring, but only the 3 defendants went to trial. The others all pleaded guilty and testified against Sardoma, Sablon, and Edrosa.
All right, well, let's check in with Blake Watson for sports.
Hey, half a day, Blake from the PNC Sports Desk. Obviously, I've enlisted the help of our newest addition, Miss Joanna O. Who is she? What's she about? Why is she all over our newscast? Be sure to stay tuned to Pacific News Center at the end. We'll let you know all about it. Plus, sports is also coming up. That's the whole reason we're doing this.
Yeah,
sports, right?
Sports.
Yeah.
I mean, weather.
And sports.
And sports.